growing up, I was always trying to be out of the box. I never wanted to be that fundamental, like in between the shoulders type of player. So when you talk to these kids and you're like, oh, make sure you're watching film, and a lot of these young girls will be like, okay, great, and they'll watch a bunch of women's games and stuff like that. For me, I grew up around the men's game. My dad was always playing in Lake Placid. I would watch him on the sideline. All my guy cousins, we'd play fiddlesticks in my backyard, just like hanging out and whatever. So I tried to like kind of, I watched a lot of women's game, Michelle Tumalo, Kayla Trainer. But what I really focused on too is I was watching not only women's, but I was watching the men's game. And I think it's super important. And I think that's when I kind of was like, hey, I don't have to run it in, 5 extra steps to be on top of a goalie when I'm taking a shot. I can take it from 15 yards out. Why not? And it's not me being lazy, not wanting to take those 5 extra steps. It's me knowing that my game, I might not be as explosive as the next person. So instead of trying to run it in and getting collapsed on by the defense, I saw that why not? If I can shoot and I have that strength from the outside, before the defense could even close, before the goalie's even expecting a shot to come, that's kind of like when I would just unleash it. So I think for me, it was a lot of growing up around the men's game that really steered me towards that type of style of play. And I don't know, I guess, again, just trying to be a little bit different than the next person.
Grew up on fundamentals. Everything you do, especially going to Maryland, it's all about fundamentals, getting your hands free, getting that ball out. And you go to the pros and it's like, wow, all these guys are so creative with their hands. And I started to develop so many different parts of my game. And I was like, why didn't I do this earlier? But I mean, a lot of people are different. Do you always preach, whether you're coaching a 10-year-old or a 16-year-old or even a 20-year-old that's in college, do you work on those, hey, let's get a little creative? Do you think everybody should be doing it, or is it particular to people that are sort of at that level?
I think any time really is earlier the better to start. I think in practice is the perfect spot because I'm talking a lot about the confidence and the confidence the sport gave me. If you want confidence in this sport, self-confidence is the most important thing, right? And in order to obtain self-confidence, you have to do something a million times, right? So practicing will actually give you that confidence. So the more you practice behind the back and throwing it behind the back, throwing it through the legs, whatever you're going to do, the more you practice it, the more confidence you will have in a game, and you'll be able to kind of like see, oh, this is a great opportunity. And you just do it. And I got to the point where in my career where I had some behind the back, some through the leg goals, and I'm not even thinking about it. It just happens because you just practice it so many times over and over again that you just get that confidence. But again, I've trained kids all throughout high school, college, and whatever. And after my freshman year, I was getting a lot of new kids come up to me and say like, hey, I want to learn your shot. And at this point, it's like anybody can learn, but it might not be everybody's strength. And I would explain to people again, like I wasn't the most explosive player, so I relied on that outside shot. If I have a kid come to me who's super explosive and I know can come off that 8 meter and just like 2-3 steps take a shot, that might be their strength. I want them to do that. Whatever's going to get the ball in the back of the net is best, obviously. So no, I don't think it's for everybody, but I think everybody can try it for sure. In that sense. And I also think, again, with the outside shot comes, people are coming up to me like, hey, I want to learn a shot. And it's like, well, first, you don't just learn the shot. You have to make sure you have, 1, the skill, and 2, the IQ, right? You have to know where the defense is. It's not very rarely in a game where you're going to stand in between the 8 and the 12 and just be able to plant and take a shot, right? There's going to be defenders and your own teammates running through the 8 at all times. You have to have that kind of sense and that awareness to know I probably shouldn't take the shot right now. I'm going to hit somebody. And I don't think everybody understands that. And most people think I'm just, taking a shot when I touch the ball, but really it's not. It's more of that IQ, like that awareness that people need to learn before they're able to take that outside shot.